You don't need another strategy. Here's what you actually need to figure out why you can't implement the things that you already know. I'm Dr. Brooklyn Storm, former psychologist, now business coach, and I help women just like us to build profitable private practices, usually in under 12 months. Being neurodivergent means I see the patterns that other coaches miss, but it also means I'm a truth teller, so I'm not interested in giving you any business advice that sounds good or might be trending, but doesn't actually work for us. Welcome to the Practice Momentum podcast, where we're going to get your private practice sorted out. Thanks so much for being here, and let's get on with the next episode. This morning I woke up and had received another 5-star review for my Etsy store, and I was so excited about it. I mean, who doesn't like to wake up to something like that? And so I screenshot it and I shared it on my Facebook. And then I went and saw, oh, well, that's not true. Then I went and had breakfast, blah, 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 shower, everything, saw a client. And then I went and checked my messages on Facebook, and there were 6 messages in there from people that were saying, can you show me how to do this? How do I book a discovery call so that I can learn how to do it too? So I thought, yes, of course, I'm happy to show them, but I also thought this is a great opportunity to talk with you a little bit about what it can look like to sell on Etsy so that you really do make money. Because I think sometimes we think, oh yeah, I'm just going to make some stuff and I'll put it on Etsy, and then you do and it doesn't sell, and then you wonder why. So I want to share with you my experience, and you can hear what I did that worked so that you can do it too, okay? Because there's space for all of us, right? So first off, in my experience, more people are approaching me for help with setting up passive income now for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is because they're struggling to get clients perhaps, and they need extra income. But there are also other people that are looking to scale back. They want to see less clients, but don't want to lose income, right? And when I'm talking with people about their vision for their private practice, a lot of the time they're telling me that they've written a course and they've written a program and, now they just need to sell it and stuff. That's concerning for me, because I think from what I have seen in my experience, a lot of the time those courses are very generic and they just don't sell. Because the person who put it together didn't understand what was required. And it's not their fault. They just think, oh, you're going to put something together. But they didn't understand all of the nuances and steps that go into it to make it something that people will really, really want to buy, right? So I would say if you're thinking of passive income, hold off on courses and programs. There's another option. An easier option, won't take you half as much time, won't cause you half as many headaches, and it's more fun, okay? And that's an Etsy store, all right? So I think too, some of you are probably thinking, I've been thinking about this. This is on my vision board. Yes, you're speaking my language now, Brooklyn. Let's just dive in. Tell me how to do it. And I will tell you how to set up your Etsy store today so that you can make your first sale in 30 days, right? I will tell you that, don't worry. But I want you to understand there's also going to be other people that are like, this isn't going to work, or it doesn't work because they've had an Etsy store and they don't make sales. Let me tell you, the people that I know that are in our community that struggle to sell on Etsy, if I have a look at their shop, I can tell you very quick, smart, why they're not selling anything. So leave it to me today to tell you how to avoid that so that you can really start making some sales, right? Now, I think too, sometimes people just think it's going to be super duper easy. You just make a PDF, you throw it up, and then you wait for all the golden pentacles to come down. Sorry, that's a tarot phrase, isn't it? Where did that come from? Golden pentacles raining down from the heavens above. Yes. Okay, but the reality is that there's some things to do so that the pentacles can come raining down on you, okay? You need to set up the shop first of all. And there are a few things that you can do that will really help you set that up. The first thing is go and have a look at a few other shops and see what you like. You've probably bought something on Etsy yourself. Go back into your into your account, you can see purchases and orders. Go in there and have a look at those people's shops and see what you really liked about their shop that caused you to buy a product that they had. Usually they're going to have a great banner. So a great banner is something that's visually appealing, but it also does other things that will do the selling for you. So for example, if you went and had a look at my Etsy store, I will put the link in the comments, but it's called The Happy Practice. If you went and had a look at my Etsy store, you would see my banner has that people can get 40% off, right, when they buy stuff. So it's one of the first things that they see. I've got a little mock-up there, so a little picture showing the types of things that I sell, and then I've got the name of the store. And my branding is separate to my business because I think I mentioned this before, but the whole reason that I started this Etsy store was because last year in Practice Momentum, a few of the women there were counsellors, psychologists, social workers. They all wanted to start an Etsy store, and some of them had begun, but I could already see, I was going to say they were doing it wrong. There's the autism, right? There were other ways that they could do it that would really increase their sales. And so then I said, okay, look, I will show you and I will record my whole entire process, and you can just get the popcorn and the cup of tea and you can just sit there and Netflix Brooklyn for an afternoon and see how I do it. And so that's what I did basically. And I walked them through. So you want to have, so my branding is different to my business, and that was because it was never meant to be part of my business. I never thought that I would be having an Etsy shop again. My Etsy shop was an experiment, a teaching experiment for my clients. But anyway, turns out I'm loving it. So I'm thinking I'm going to actually keep listing stuff. I mean, it's been dormant for a few months now, but anyway. So yeah, my branding is quite colourful and playful. And the reason that I chose that branding, so you've got context when you choose yours, I just wanted mine to be different. So when I went and had a look at, so my audience is you, right? Women in private practice who are starting their businesses. So when I was going and having a look at, what other people were selling, it was all like the beige aesthetic, it's like I was just rolling my eyes. Everybody had a very luxurious looking font on their shops and on all their products, and they were using all the beige and the black and the white and the olive green and the things, right? And I just knew I didn't want to create a shop that looked like that, because if all the shops look pretty similar, then we're all going to be competing on price pretty much. And I don't want to be, as I say to my clients, the Temu of my thing, right? So I tell my clients, you don't want to be the cheapest therapist because you don't want to be the Temu of therapy. I don't want to be selling the cheapest things on Etsy because I don't want to be the Temu of Etsy. I want people choosing my stuff because they know it's good, because it stands out, because, And then the other reason, again for context, that I chose my branding. So my branding is very colourful. It's like lolly pink, like candy pink, and it's, matching kind of blue and green and orange and yellow and white, and it's stripes and it's squiggles and wiggles and confetti and cakes and things like this, is because knowing my clients, I know most of my clients are women, number one. Number two, they are usually stressed out of their heads, having imposter syndrome, anxious, blah, 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 blah. And I guess I just wanted to give them the feeling that business can also be fun. And I wanted to make a shop that gives them a feeling of playfulness and lightness and fun, and that feels fun and joyful to look at because it's lovely, big, bright colors everywhere, right? Very feminine, very feminine. So anywho, you want to have a lovely banner, and I would absolutely recommend putting on your banner that you've got a sale or a discount or something like that, your business name, and then a picture that's either a picture of you, because they convert really well, or a picture of some of the different types of things that we can buy from your store. So that's the first thing. And then you just heard me with my branding. My branding was separate to my practice for the reasons I just said. If I was going to do it again, I would keep it the same branding as my practice because it would just save me a whole lot of time. So your step, if you want to create a shop, make it really simple for yourself. Use the same font, same colors, same logo, right? Same. You're going to save yourself so much time. Okay, so your shop colors, shop fonts, everything the same as your existing branding. The way that you speak, write, all of that, same as your existing branding. That's the first thing. Okay. The people who don't do well with Etsy are also people who, I guess, make it harder for themselves than it needs to be. You don't have to do that. So, for example, some of them will go and get a template from somewhere, or they'll pull a template from Canva and they'll just rebrand it and whack it up. And then they wonder why it's not selling. And it's not selling because 100 other people are selling the same ADHD template, right? For ADHD worksheet for women who were late diagnosed, right? A million people selling the exact same worksheet, just rebranded. So then it does become a price thing, and then the consumer, the customer is just going to go and choose the person who's selling it cheapest, because why would they pay more? It doesn't make sense. So there's that will get you in a pickle. The other thing that will get you in a pickle is if you're in a membership like Secret Weapon or something like that, and you don't tinker with the template. You want to always customize a template to suit your brand, your niche, your clients. We never just take a template, publish it, right? It's a template, and by definition, a template is a base. It's not you just rebrand it and then sell it. It's a base that you use, then it's a jumping off point. So there's that. And then the third thing is they will go and just create content and lose a morning, a weekend, creating a workbook, and then they'll go and list it. It doesn't sell, and they've lost all of this time, and now it's not selling. And then the other thing is they use AI to create the actual product, and then it doesn't sell. So, and then they're wondering why not, because they're thinking that because they used AI, AI is the magic bullet, and, it should be raining down the golden pentacles. So I'm here to say, no, don't waste your time with any of those things. Go into your cloud drive or Google Drive or OneDrive, whatever it is, go into your drive, go into your computer, or even go into your Canva account and find a couple of resources that you already have made. And then you will probably see that they're Google Docs, which is perfectly okay. They might be Google Docs. They've probably got your branding on them, right? They've probably got your name on them, right? All of that kind of stuff. Sell those. You don't have to go making new stuff. Just sell what you've got. That's the easiest way, and it's all that I do. I just sell what I've already got. So the things that are on my Etsy store are things that I had already made and given away to some of the clients that I work with privately, or in other communities that I've got, and things like that. So I'd given them away to clients who are already I was working with them privately. But now you can take anything that you already have there, and if it's a Google Doc or a Word doc, for example, or whatever, go and just make it a PDF. Just when you're in Google Drive and you go to download the thing, when you download it, it gives you the option of saving it as PDF. Just download it as a PDF. No big deal. Done. There's your product. You didn't even have to make anything. Okay. So that's going to save you bucketloads of time. Then you're going to want to write a name for it. So go and have a look, have a quick squiz at the competition, see who else is selling the ADHD worksheet for late diagnosed women, and see what their titles are kind of looking like, get a bit of a sense of how to write a title, and then write one. Okay. The title is very important because it's what's going to draw people to click. And then there are two other things that are very important. One of those is the image. So when you go to list your product on Etsy, it's kind of like Instagram in a way. Like, you know how on Instagram now you can have 20 images? Well, on Etsy, you can have, I think even it's up to 20 now. You don't have to use all 20, right? You might just use one, or you might use 3. It doesn't matter. Again, go and have a look at what your competition are doing to get an idea of what you need to do. But even if you just had 2 or 3, it's fine, right? And go make a couple of images. But that first image, the first thumbnail image that people see, that and the heading is what's going to make people click. So if nobody's clicking, you need to change one of those things, right? There's a quick tip for you there. You will know after 14 days to 30 days. I would say 14, but yeah, I'm also feeling like I should just extend it out to 30 for you, especially if it's a new business, a new shop. You will know if you need to change something, okay? So you want to have 2 or 3 little images, great, meaningful title lets people know exactly what it is that they're going to be getting. And then you're going to write a description. So the description is what explains the product. So that's where you're going to be saying who it's for. This ADHD worksheet is for women who were late diagnosed with ADHD, ADID, or ADHD combined subtype. What it is, this is a PDF worksheet that is fillable, and it is 3 pages long, and I use it with my clients and they love it, and that's why I'm putting it here. Then you want to say, what does it do? So this is where you're talking about like the transformation, right? What do they actually, how's their life, their experience going to be different as a result of getting this thing from you? Like, what's your product going to fix or change for them? Use this PDF if you are still trying to navigate what the diagnosis means for you and how it could be showing up in different areas of your life. Okay, use this worksheet to track current behaviors and so that you can take it to your ADHD follow-up appointment, right? Whatever it is. So you want to like let them know the point of it, the thing. And that's really what sells it, okay? The transformation, the how's something going to change. And then after that, you just want to, I guess, go and fill out every other bit in the listing. So it will ask you, do you have categories in your shop? You don't have to. I do. Some of my categories, again, for my audience, and it's different to yours, but for me, I've got resources that are for marketing their private practices, or for doing their admin, or for managing their finances, or creating passive income and stuff like that. But you might have categories for yours around self-help, or around I don't know, a particular modality, right? Could be ACT worksheets that you're generating. It could be workbooks. It could be meditations. Like it could be by age, right? It could be, these are resources for children up to 12. These are resources for women 35 to 60, like whatever, you get the idea. So you have some categories if you choose to. And then you have to say, like, if you made it or if AI made it, you're going to say that you made it. And then you're going to create some instructions for how people can access their purchase. So for me, I just have a PDF and I just upload that PDF set of instructions, and it just tells them, thank you so much for coming to the Happy Practice. Thank you so much for your order. I'm really excited for you to use this thing. And then I'll include, to remind them, the thumbnail image of the thing that they bought, because yeah, they might be looking at it now, but you've got access forever to your products that you've purchased in Amazon, right? So they might come back to it 12 months later, and I want them to remember, oh, that's what it is. So I include that thumbnail image, I include the title, and then I just include a link to the Google Drive, to the file on Google Drive, so that they can just click that link and get it. Easy. Yeah. And then that's pretty much all you really need to do. And then optimize it, of course. and then just hit publish and you're done. That's it. Very, very easy. There are a couple of things too that I can share with you as well that will hopefully be helpful in terms of if you really do want this to be making money for you. The first thing I would recommend is track the income that you're making from your different products. So I started doing this last year when I was teaching my clients how to do it. I've stopped tracking now. I can go back and fill it out. It won't take me long to do, but the point of the tracking is you list all of your products in like an Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet, and then you track every time a sale is made, which product was sold, how much it was sold for, whether it was on sale, how somebody found the product, because Etsy gives you all that information, how somebody found the product, what your fees were as the seller and things like that. And then you start to see, as the sales start coming in, you start to see what's moving, and that's really, really helpful. So for me, with my shop in the Happy Practice, I've got some things in there. It's like having the freebie, right? Let me just bring up my Happy Practice Etsy.com. Sorry, just trying to bring this up so I can show you. There we are. Yeah, I got things in there that I thought were awesome that just aren't selling at all. And then I've got other things in there that are just doing like so well that they've had heaps of sales. And I thought they were the most boring products ever. So I'm sharing that with you so that you understand that tracking is what's going to tell you what your clients want. So for example, a lot of my clients ask for business plans. So I made a business plan template, right? I don't think anyone's ever bought it. It's crazy. I've got a GPT, a custom GPT that I made for therapists that they can use to generate their own action plan if they don't want to use a template. No one's ever bought that. The things that I created an ADHD productivity planner, right? Everyone was telling me they wanted it. No, turns out nobody wanted it. The things that I made that I thought were really boring that wouldn't sell have done exceptionally well. Like I've got a private practice income and expense tracker. To me, in a way, it's probably boring, right? It's just a little spreadsheet. But if I go into If I go into my shop, I can see the sales, my listings. Right, so I've sold 40 of the expense trackers and they're about $15 or $16. I sold 40 of them. I've sold 2 of the business action plan GPTs. I created email nurture sequences for people to use to build their audience so that they can get clients, and nobody's bought them. No one. I created a Psychology Today profile optimizer tool that they can use with Claude, and they can also use it with ChatGPT. And I have sold 8 and 6, 14 since September, right? And they're good because they're $47 each, right? What else have I sold? A revenue generator tool. A lot of my clients want to create passive income, but only 4 have sold. What else? Stuff. I'm just trying to see. Oh, my NDIS starter pack sells okay. I've sold 7. It's $60. My essential forms, probably my best seller. I've sold 24. They're 100 and something. What else? That's it pretty much. But the things that I think are going to do really, really well just didn't move. Oh, the private practice income, 40 of those. That's my best seller. Who'd have thought that my best seller was going to be a spreadsheet? That's right. So get this. the American version of my private practice income and expense tracker has sold, I'm going to say 40, but it says 35, but I think it's 40 because I redid the listing. But the Australian one has sold 40. So, I mean, that's, what's that? 40 and, where am I? Yeah, 40 and 40. That's 80 times $15. That's great money, right? Considering that once you put this up, you really don't have to do, buddy, quiet, good boy. He's learning how to be quiet in the new house, sorry. You really don't have to do that much, right? That's very important for you to be aware of. The way that you get the sales, well, hang on, let me just go back to this. You got to have different things in your shop, okay? So we can't just fill it up with worksheets and we can't just fill it up with workbooks. You want to have variety because that'll show you what's working. And you want to put up things that you're passionate about and that are on your heart to put up, just like I did. And you will probably experience just like I did. They don't really sell that well. And then you're going to put up other things that you don't really, you don't feel lit up about, but that actually sell like hotcakes. So that's the first thing. Must have variety. Make sure you got the pricing right. Have a sale going all the time. Really easy to do. So in your shop, you're just going to go into the marketing section, go to sales and discounts in there, and you'll be able to set up some sales. You should always be running a sale, right? So I've got a sale. For me, it's order minimum. So if they buy, if they come along and they're like, oh, I want to get these 2 things, well, it's probably worth their while to get 3 things because then I'll get 40% off. And if they're getting expensive things like my NDIS starter pack or the essential forms, for example, then it makes sense for them to save 40%, right? Because it's hundreds of dollars they're going to be spending. Who wouldn't want that? So, yeah, you want to do that. And then the other thing that will really help you with your sales is posting consistently. So I know that when I put a product up in my shop, and even outside of your shop categories, Etsy has its own categories, right? So when you go and you list your worksheets, for example, it will say to you what department, what category do you want it to go in? It's probably going to go in something like how to, and then templates, and that will be where you put your worksheets, right? And you're going to list your worksheet there. What was I going to say? Just forgot what I was going to say. Oh, that's right. So you list your worksheet there. And then what happens is once it's published, it goes live and it stays active in Etsy world for, I think, 24 or 48 hours. You get a day or 2 where Etsy actively push it, right? They will show it in, so if you've ever searched on Etsy for something, you know what I'm talking about. It's like searching on YouTube for things. You get rows of pictures of things. And so Etsy will put your product on the first page for the first day or 2. And it's doing that to see, number 1, whether or not it's something your clients want. It's measuring who's looking at it, who's clicking on it, how long are they staying on it for, kind of like your website or like Google or like your social media, right? The algorithm is the algorithm. And it's using that information to figure out whether or not it's going to continue showing that product to your ideal client. So that's what's happening. So you're getting this big boost of free publicity and free marketing by Etsy for your product. What you don't want to do is the same day or within that 48-hour period, go and list another product in the same category, because then they cancel each other out in a way. Etsy's only going to promote one. So we don't want to be listing 2 things, 2 worksheets within 48 hours. It would be better if you listed a worksheet here and then maybe it was an audio meditation over there, right? Day 1, it's worksheet. Day 2, maybe it's the audio meditation. Day 3, maybe it's back to a worksheet. day 4, maybe it's something else. The important thing is, doesn't really matter what it is, but we want a different category. If you published a worksheet and maybe it was just sticking with the example there of the audio, like a meditation, you could publish both of those on the same day, and both products are going to get extra boosts, extra reach, extra visibility. But then what's going to happen is it's going to start slowing down, dying down, then it's going to die a very slow death. And then the only way people are going to find it is if they're specifically looking for things using the words that you've put in your description and your title. Exactly the same as when you write your website content and copy, exactly the same as when you're writing your blogs, exactly the same as when you're writing your social media, right? You already know how to do this. So again, it's not a big learning curve for you. So if your ideal client is typing ADHD worksheet for women who are late diagnosed, and they're typing that into Google, Etsy's going to surface that because it's a match, okay? But if the description and the title aren't using the exact words that clients use, this is why saying stuff like walking alongside you and safe spaces and all that BS, those people who write all that stuff, they don't get the visibility that they should be getting, right? Because they think they're doing what they should be doing, but they're not. So anyway, that will really help you. Otherwise, what's going to happen? Die a slow death. And then the only other way, apart from somebody specifically searching, is if you specifically give them the shop link, or so you're driving traffic to it, or what else was I going to say? I've just forgotten. Oh, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to come back to it. Yeah. So if you've been posting some stuff in your shop, you should expect to start to see sales within the first week or 2. If the sales aren't happening, that's telling you something. You can go and you can look at your Etsy dashboard and it will tell you what's going on, how many people are seeing the things, But if you've already been giving them to clients or maybe selling them to clients and things like that, or selling them to supervisees, for example, things like that, they're going to sell, okay? Another way that you can make sales after the 48-hour period is to share your product. Like, let people know that it's available. We don't want to just be counting on people thinking, I should go over to Etsy and see if Brooklyn's got something. Most of the time, people are just going to check. For me, they're going to check my Facebook stuff first and see if I've shared anything there. And then they're probably going to go over to my website and see if I've got stuff there. But what I find works really well in driving traffic is if I share something to my stories on my social media. Now, you don't have to be on social media. That's totally fine. I'm just saying what works for me. If I can share a review with a link to the product, it will sell. If I share a story of a picture with a link, it will usually sell, right? So you want to be doing that, and definitely put it on your feed. If you've got social media, definitely do that. If you're not using social media, that's okay. I would be letting people know, like if you've got a brick and mortar place where you're seeing your clients, why not go and get yourself a really pretty decorative frame and frame your logo and for your Etsy shop with the Etsy shop name, and, you know, put the orange E there for Etsy, and, you know, include like a little bit of a QR code or something so that while clients are waiting to see you in reception, they can go shopping at your Etsy store. Right? Little things like that. Put it on your website, your Etsy store link, and any products that you've got in your email footer. You could just have a persistent image that's clickable that people can go over to the Etsy store for to buy things. If you've got a podcast, talk about it. If you've got a YouTube channel, talk about it. If you've got LinkedIn, make sure you've got a pinned post about it. All those kinds of things, right? So I guess the other thing is you want to be good with your pricing. So you don't want to undersell, right? Some people will go on Etsy and they'll sell things for, I don't know, $5 and things like that. And that's perfectly okay, depending on what the thing is and on who the audience is. But I really believe that you've got to price accordingly. So for me, I keep the pricing consistent for products I sell in multiple places, like my NDIS starter pack, my essential forms. That's the same price wherever you go. But other things that are just exclusive to Etsy, I play around with the prices and I work out the price based on how helpful this product is. So if I don't think the product is overly helpful or it's not going to solve a major problem, it gets a lower price. But if I know, like with my passive income planner, it's an interactive tool that I made. People can go in there. It will help them ideate, brainstorm, map out the right model, choose the right model for them, then map out what the model's going to look like. Then it will map out the content. Then it will create all of the content, including the sales images. It will then create the beta testing or pilot version of it so that you can test it, make sure it works, iron out any creases, get reviews, all those kinds of things. Then it creates the whole launch plan for you, including the emails, the socials, the this, that, and the other. It helps you work out the pricing. It writes a sales page copy for you. It writes the copy for your registration page, all of that. Now, am I going to sell that for $7? No. Because I know if somebody goes through this and they follow it and they use it, that they're going to be generating thousands of dollars at the end of the day, right? Depending on what it is that they make potentially. I mean, obviously not if they're going to be selling ebooks. Ebooks are a friggin' nightmare. Do not sell an ebook. Nobody cares about your ebook. No one's going to pay for your ebook. They're so dated. I'm sorry, but they're so dated. You need to be bringing your stuff up into 2026. Even a PDF, I would be erring on the side of caution. You have clients now who are very savvy with the internet and they're very savvy with AI. And this is why it's not enough to do a PDF anymore. They're expecting more. The standard has been raised. By all means, if you're more comfortable making PDFs, go for it. But understand it's going to take you a lot longer than somebody who's making other things like interactive tools, like quizzes, like dashboards, like all those kinds of things, right? Interactive things are going to work best. The other thing that will really help you get more sales is to not use AI to write it. So if you're going to make an ebook, don't get ChatGPT to write the friggin' thing and then, whack a dodgy cover on the front and throw it up into your store and hope that it sells, because it won't. And people are going to get annoyed and they won't come back to your store and they will tell people don't bother shopping there. Here's why. It's because why would somebody go and pay you $27 for your ebook that's been spat out by ChatGPT when they could have just gone and asked GPT for the help? Free. It doesn't make any sense. People get annoyed with you and they won't come back, and it's not a good look, and you don't want to do that, right? You want to be a destination. You want people going, this shop's so good. It's got really good stuff. Or I've just received an email from them and say they've just listed some new things. I'm going to go over there. Oh, this shop's running a sale. We want that. And don't think AI is the answer. Use AI the right way. Writing the workbook and creating the workbook, unless you know what you're doing, is not the right way. What will work better for you is to do things yourself and lean into your expertise. So when you're writing your description, you want to say things like, this is a tool that my private counseling clients find really useful and helpful. Demonstrate that you know what you're doing. In your bio on your Etsy store, let people know, hey, I'm a psychologist and I love to share resources that that I use with my clients in my private practice. my private practice is all about grief, loss, and trauma. And, my approach is very holistic and you know what I mean? Your thing, your message, da 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 da. So just keep it really, 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 really simple. I would copy and paste stuff from your website into your Etsy store. Look at any resources you've made, given, or sold to your existing clients that resonated, that worked, that were helpful, that you got good feedback about, because that's a sign there that other people will find it useful. And then just go and start putting them up. Before you open your shop, you don't have to publish them all at once, but you can. I would create 10 things ready to go so that you've got them there. And I'll tell you why. If you are selling one thing, right? Maybe you're very excited, you just set up your store, you've got your one thing, and you're promoting it. Hey everyone, come and see my shop. I've just opened my shop. I'm so excited. It's called All About You Therapy and Counseling and whatever. And I'm selling resources for my clients on this, that, and the other. And then we go there and there's one product in the shop. It's going to be crickets, right? And we're not going to trust you really, because we're going to be thinking, what's going on here? This is weird. Imagine walking into Myers or DJ's or Bunnings and there's just one thing, but there's all this other space. You'd be thinking, what's going on? Where's everything else? So what I would suggest is have a few things, maybe 5, and put them either all up on the one day in different categories, or let people know in the banner that a new product will be listed every second day for the next 60 days or something like that, right? And just fill up that shop. The more product you've got, the more sales you make. It's that simple. If you've only got 3 products or 5 products, it's going to take you a lot longer to make sales. At the moment, what have I got? 18. I've got 18 things. I need to get another 82, right, to get up to 100. But I need 482 to get to 500. Why 500? Because there's a lot of research that shows that shops that are full with the 500 make money every single day while they sleep, right? Just like I did. I woke up this morning to another sale of that tracker, right? So if I've only got 18 things there and somebody's in the mood to be tracking her expenses, what I know now is, okay, there are actually lots of women in business that are being proactive and wanting to track their expenses. Okay, it's my best-selling product, one of my best-selling products. So now I want to think to myself, now that I know that, what could I create that would complement that would make sense, right? So yeah, I'm going to give her the expense tracker, or the income and expense tracker, but what else could I give her that would be a no-brainer for her to buy as well, right? And I want to sit them side by side. Single products can sell super duper well, but what can work even better is bundles. So if you've got 3 or more products that are all kind of related, put them together as a bundle. People love a discount and it feels fun to get a bundle. So you could put a bunch of things together. Think about a bundle, right? So you could have essentially the same product for your, grief, loss and trauma, but maybe you've bundled up a version for teens, and then maybe you've bundled up a version for the boys, and maybe you've bundled up a version for, the aged. Do you see what I'm saying? Have a few bundles going. Try a few things. Be sure to share things. It's not hard to share things on your social media. And then the other thing is, people often ask me about the fees. So I can share with you what the fees are. So if I go into my orders and I go to completed, okay, so this one was ordered this morning. Let's select that one. Okay. So she ordered this at 6:29 a.m. when I was sound asleep in bed with little buddy Boo. Okay. She bought it at 6:29. She paid, let me just check for you. Where is it? Earnings. There we go. I can check on earnings. She paid, the item was $13.67. She paid $14.42 because she paid tax on that of 75 cents. Right? And then I can see that my fees for me were $2.47. So the item went for $13.67. It cost me $2.47. Right? So I still made $11 plus on this for not doing anything. That's my coffee this morning, right? The transaction fee was 89 cents. So the transaction fee is 6.5% of the order total. And then there was a payment processing fee, which was 3%. And then the tax, which was the 75 cents, which isn't really my fee anyway. But yeah. So I don't know. Am I happy to swap $2.47 for $11.30? Yes. It's not a big deal. So many people get their knickers in a knot about the fees for everything. But yeah. And then the other thing too, when you're in your account, you can go to the orders and you can see when people used a discount and stuff like that. So I can see one client purchased and she used a coupon that I had for May, which gave her 35% off. So this is important information for me because I can see the person before that, same thing. Actually, that coupon did really well. I'm just scrolling through my list. The May coupon did really well. I might need to do that one again. But that tells me, oh, okay, when I don't have a coupon, I make less sales. When I have a coupon, I make more sales, right? And this is great. And then the other thing too is you get reviews sometimes, which is nice. So those become social proof and give potential buyers more confidence. So if I go and have a look at, I need to get back into my shop, I think. Yeah, so I can see here that I've made 92 sales, right? So, and I've got 8 reviews, which is great. I'm really, really thankful for that because the reviews are what give people, as I said, a little bit of extra confidence if they don't know you. Okay, so there's that. And I just wanted to share with you, like, this does get to be super easy. I think success leaves clues. Go and have a little bit of a look at what your competition is doing. I would say see your store as an extension of the practice. Like, just imagine, in reception, you've got a display stand where you're displaying your PDFs and I was going to say cassettes. That's how old I am. Cassettes of your meditations and things like that. It's like a little shop front there. Just treat it like that and just see what sells. And also notice what doesn't and track everything. And then the other thing that you can do to really, because this is just so much fun. Once you start getting the notifications that you're making money, it's so much fun. The other thing that you can do that really I find so helpful is to set a goal. And you might just say, look, I'm going to set myself a goal of my first $100 in sales this month, right? And then allow yourself to think about, okay, how am I going to get this $100 in sales, right? And that will put you in a position then of remembering to share the thing on your stories with a link or update your email footer or your email header to let people know that you've got it. Maybe go and update your LinkedIn banner with the Etsy logo and the name of your shop so people know that you've got that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you will start to get in the mindset of doing the things you need to do to make the $100 in the first month. So do it. Set yourself a little goal. Just have fun with it. If you treat it like a little bit of fun rather than a need to do, you'll find it a lot easier. Don't expect millions of dollars straight away. It's going to take a little bit of time, but the more consistently you upload things and the more products you've got, the more money you make. Okay. Yeah. As I said, this shop was sort of like my teaching shop, but prior I had another shop, and like a few years ago I had another shop, and it was generating almost $1,000 a month, and it had, I think, 330 products in it. Everything from that my clients wanted, right? So I was helping clients with their marketing, and a lot of them were on Facebook and doing it really poorly. So I created like Facebook guides and marketing guides and guides on funnels and templates for their socials and templates on how to write the posts and things like this. And these things were selling because my clients needed them. That's what I'm saying. Like, you want to not go inventing things. Don't start from scratch. Look in your Google Drive, see what you've already got. Make sure you've got your logo on it. Make sure you've got your practice on it somewhere, hopefully as a clickable link, maybe even a clickable link to a discovery call or your diary or something like that would be great. Make sure you've got all of that there. So you're optimizing because, you know, we want this to really work for you. And think too, if you are at the point where you want to do less of the one-to-one work and you want to drop back, and let's say you're saying, I normally see 30 clients a week, I want to drop back to 25. How do I do that with Etsy? I would say to you, consider 90 days, because everything works in 90 days. So I'd say create a goal for yourself for 90 days of replacing the income. So have a look at, I mean, if you're, what's that? Let's say your session fee is $150 and you're wanting to replace 5 lots of that. That's going to be, I'm giggling because I'm having to get out my calculator. I know so many of you have already done it in your heads. You're probably there going, how can this woman be making Google Chrome extensions and creating all this stuff with AI, but she can't calculate 150 times 5? It's 750, folks. Okay, 750. I know. I'm good with the hard stuff. I'm not good with the easy stuff, but you know that. Okay, so I would say to you, all right, what could you sell that's going to generate $750? What do you need to price it at? And start with something that's most in demand, not something that you're going to feel all in love with. All right. You've heard from me. The things I felt all in love with fell flat on their little faces. The things that I was like, you know, people are asking for it, like the friggin' expense tracker. Like, I was going to say, who wants an expense tracker? But apparently lots of people do. It was just me that thought nobody would ever want it and it's boring. But it's actually that my audience is telling me, you're telling me I need it, I want it, and you're buying it, right? So have a think about conversations you've been having with your clients. What are they bringing up in sessions? Is this a recurring theme or a pattern? Has it been said by, you know, a handful of clients actually? And what resource could you make that would help them out with this? Make it yourself. Base it on your knowledge, your experience, your wisdom, all that kind of stuff. Do not get AI to make it for you unless you know what you're doing. Usually you want to be making stuff yourself first and then using the AI to improve it. Okay, we don't want to be like making the stuff in AI. But anyway, I hope this is super duper helpful. And if you make your shop, let me know, because I'm more than happy to give your shop a bit of a shout out on my podcast. It gets 150,000 downloads. It's in the top 5% of podcasts in the world, probably because it's got like over 600 episodes now. It's amazing how I just keep like rambling on, but I could keep rambling on. Anywho, I'm more than happy to give it a shout out. Like, I'm not going to charge you for it. Don't worry if you're thinking you can't afford it or something like that. No. If you listen to this episode, you take action, you go and start your shop, I'm going to support you. Let me know the name of it and what you're selling and stuff like that. And I can absolutely give it a plug on a future episode. It would be my pleasure to do that for you. I mean, we're all women in business. We've got to raise each other up. I don't want to do lip service to that. I think lots of people say that they're going to do it and they don't. I think it's a nice sentiment, but I do. Like, even if you go over to my website, I have a whole section on my website where I freely promote women that I know do a fantastic job of what they do. It doesn't cost them anything, but I'm happy for people to find them through me. Not a problem. So if that would be helpful for you too, not the website, but with the shout out for your Etsy store, let me know. More than happy to do that for you. Okay. In other news, I've also had some requests come through based on a post from last week, which was about manifesting, because I've been sharing all news on my Facebook about how much I'm loving my new area. It is so good. Did you know that on the weekend, there was a farmer's market literally at the bottom of my street, and I was able to walk there. I took my little Hessian shopping bag. I was so cute. You should have seen me. And I got all this produce and it was so good. You could go read about it on Facebook if you want. I won't bore you with the details if you already read the article, but it was so much fun. And then the very next day, I was taking Buddy for a walk, and again, just down the end of our street, there's beside me, there's a reserve. And it's not a big reserve, but it's a reserve. I think of it as like a lush car park size, oval size. But anyway, Buddy and I were there, and there's a little road that runs alongside. And yeah, we're walking on the road and boom, kangaroo. I know, there's kangaroos. I'm so happy. Oh, and we went for another walk yesterday. Black cockatoos. How beautiful. Black cockatoos. Oh, pine needles everywhere on the ground, and it's just so lovely. It's heaven. So anyway, because I was sharing stuff like that, some people, and I mentioned about manifesting, some people are like, oh, you haven't said much about manifesting for a while. So I will do an episode, if I can remember to do it. It will be Saturday, on manifesting for you, for not only how I manifested the house, but what it is in general and how I apply it to business, and how you can too. Because, yeah, I'm happy to do that for you, especially as there's so much interest in it right now. So, yeah, I know, fun and games, right? Anyhow, I will let you go. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thanks for listening to another episode. Bye. And that's a wrap for this episode of the Private Practice Podcast. So as you reflect on today's insights, imagine creating real success in your private practice without going down rabbit holes or exhausting yourself with business activities that don't move the needle. With Practice Momentum, you have push of a button help available on demand. It's like having an expert in your pocket ready to guide you whenever you need it. Visit brooklynstorm.com to discover how Practice Momentum can transform your approach to building a thriving practice. I'm Dr. Brooklyn Storm, and I'll see you next time as we continue exploring the mind, business, and spirit of private practice success.